on the next TCM guest programmer.
It was a revelation to see these movies.
Ah, don't be ridiculous.
Writer, director, actor, comedian, an Emmy-winning jack of all trades. David Steinberg introduces a night of his favorite films.
Let joy be unconfined.
What I love about these movies is that they take you away into a different world. And when I'm watching something, I'm not analyzing it. I'm identifying with the characters. I'm feeling the sadness. I'm feeling the joy. I don't know what else artistically does that to me. Looking at a painting doesn't do it. Listening to music doesn't quite do it alone. But movies, I just get lost in them.
Coming up next, the TCM guest programmer.
I watch you incessantly, as you can tell.
Only on Turner Classic Movies.
TCM brings an exciting experience to both coasts with the TCM Movie Locations Tour of Los Angeles and the TCM Classic Film Tour of New York City. Get behind-the-scene insights on movies filmed in the two cities while viewing the actual locations where the magic took place. Tours feature movie clips, trivia, knowledgeable guides, and video introductions by TCM hosts Robert Osborne.
Let us do the driving.
Or Ben Mankiewicz.
Now sit back and enjoy the show.
For more info and to book your tickets, go to tcm.com/tours.
Hi, I'm Robert Osborne. Thank you so much for joining us for our monthly visit with the TCM guest programmer. The person we've asked to look around our library and choose a lineup of films for this month is someone I'm particularly delighted to spend time with. He's a writer, a director, an actor, a comedian, a funny man. I mean, a truly jack of all trades, and excellent at all. Welcome, David Steinberg.
Thank you, Robert.
Good to have you sitting there.
Thank you. It's great to be with you, actually.
Good. Well, the first film David has chosen for us is not just a funny film from 1935, but a truly classic example of movie comedy. It stars Groucho, Chico, and Harpo, otherwise known as the Marx Brothers, of course. It is A Night at the Opera. Now, of all the films you could have picked, why this one?
I'm nuts about this movie. I love the Marx Brothers. I like them in all their movies. But this one was just very special. They're absolutely at their best in this film. You know, the history of the Marx Brothers, I mean, this is George Kaufman who wrote A Night at the Opera and actually wrote Coconuts, actually The Coconuts, the play that they did originally. So they were in good company with George Kaufman being there. And their movies, Duck Soup was probably the most famous movie that all, you know, Marxophiles loved because it's so irreverent and anti-war, considered the anti-war film. But their movie started to lose money, and Thalberg wanted to revive them.
Irving Thalberg, head of MGM.
Head of MGM, an incredible producer, very young even at that time. And he thought that the reason that they're not making any money anymore is that we have to make them support a love interest. They can't be, Zeppo can't be the lead. And so Thalberg just said, I'm going to have them support a love interest. And that love interest is Kitty Carlisle and Alan Jones in this movie. And by not having the focus all on them, they could just be as outrageous as they want to be. And it all works because the plot moves forward off of them. I didn't know this when I watched them for the first time. I knew none of this.
You just knew it was working.
It was working. And I was in New York for the first time. I was in Second City as a performer. I'd just come from Toronto. Carly Simon, Lucy Simon weren't known at that time. As they were the Simon sisters, and they were singing. They were friends of mine from Chicago and just circles. And I came back with such a flu, and I was in Lucy's apartment. Carly and Lucy were living downstairs of us in New York. It was me in New York. And I just had the flu and a fever. And I turned on the TV. I wasn't used to this. I'd never heard it before. And I heard the theme for $1 Million Movie, and it was Tara's theme, la da da da, and I was flu-ridden. I said, well, what is this? And they say, tonight, two classic films, Night at the Opera, with the Marx Brothers, and another one that is one of my favorites is Swing Time. Both of those films, and I just feverishly sat there and I was in ecstasy. I just have never forgotten it. It was a revelation to me to see these movies.
So that's why tonight we have A Night at the Opera
Yes.
and Swing Time.
And Swing Time.
We're going to see the movie right now. Have a look. Directed by Sam Wood with a screenplay by George S. Kaufman and Maury Riskin. Chosen by this month's guest programmer, David Steinberg. Here's A Night at the Opera.